Hello, fellow risk takers, and welcome to my worst investment ever. Stories of loss that keep you winning. In our community, we know that to win in investing, you must take risk, but to win big, you've got to reduce it. My name is Andrew Stotts from A Stotts Investment Research, the worst podcast host. And I'm here with featured guest, Laura Cho. Laura, are you ready to rock?
100% ready.
Let's do it. So let me tell the audience about you. Laura is an international certified coach and founder at Laura Cho International, coaching millennial clients or talents to build successful careers by unleashing their full potential using her HR expertise. She is a public speaker sharing HR and career topics on various stages in Hong Kong, Singapore, Cambodia, and Myanmar, at universities, radio shows, online platforms, journals, and public seminars. And ladies and gentlemen, today is her debut performance on podcast. She has been featured in Stories of Asia, the Myanmar Times, Human Resource Magazine in Hong Kong, and 7-Day TV. Laura, take a minute and fill in further tidbits about your life.
Thank you, Andrew, for invitation to the show. Hi, everyone. My name is Laura, and I'm brought up in Myanmar, and I am an HR professional, has been working in this career for more than a decade. I feel old whenever I say that. So throughout my career, I have been working from different multinational companies. And last 2 years ago, I worked in Hong Kong, working for the regional office, overseeing 12 Southeast Asia country. And I love Asia career because this is the career where I can make impact to other people, right? So apart from that, because my career is in HR and I am passionate in people development. So I started my career coaching last 3.5 years ago. And I was so passionate to help others, how they are exiting the interview and how they are getting most out of their career. So I started doing a side hustle in career coaching. And now I'm back in Myanmar and I'm working as a head of HR in one of the insurance company and also doing career coaching.
That's exciting. And I mean, everybody wants to have a side hustle these days, but I suspect that you have to work pretty darn hard to have your full-time job and a little side hustle. How many hours a day do you work?
12 hours.
Woo, that's dedication. But that's the thing, as we talked earlier, that I had a side hustle when I was a head of research back in 1995 or so. We set up Coffee Works, my coffee company in Thailand. 25 years later, it's a successful business. So the side hustles can pay off.
Yeah.
In addition, it's valuable for your company. Yes. And it's valuable for your clients because you're bringing, your knowledge from your own experience out to the world. And ultimately, the good people out there looking for the great jobs, you're going to see them first.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Well, now it's time to share your worst investment ever. And since no one ever goes into their worst investment thinking it will be, tell us a bit about the circumstances leading up to it, and then tell us your story.
Thank you. So this is my favorite time to share my worst investment. I rarely share that, and this is my very first time. So when I started my career coaching, as Andrew mentioned, right, I have to pick up a lot of skill set, running the website and doing everything. So I was like, oh, I should start picking up the business knowledge. So, but that time I was so eager to learn something. And I still remember that time I was in Hong Kong, so I have a good income, right? So I was like, why don't I invest something which I can benefit for my side hustle? So one day I found an ad on Facebook. A lady was living in Hong Kong and she was giving a business class. Without knowing anything about her, I was so attracted to her because of her copywriting, right? Because she has very good copywriting and she was attracting clients. And I was like, wow, this is the person that I can trust and I can learn from her. What I think about it, I was because I came from Myanmar and I thought that people in Hong Kong has much more knowledge than me, and she has been sharing many good things about her businesses and everything. So without taking some time to think, I invested in that course. It was quite expensive because I have to pay in USD, and it was quite I mean, for me it's extensive amount, but without regret, I right away pay for it because I can pay with a credit card. And then, so when we started the class, I came to realize that she is not giving the value to the audience. She know how to attract the clients, but she don't know how to give the value to the clients. And on the other hand, what I feel is that as a trainer or as a coach, she was not opening up. Whenever I asked the question to her, she was like, "Oh, you're not knowing anything, and you're asking like stupid question." And I was like, "If I know it, I won't come and learn from you, right?" So I was like, "Ah, what happened?" But I waited like till the end of the course. But I feel so demotivated, and I blame to myself. I'm not blaming to her. I blame to myself that I should have done the proper thinking and proper checking before I invest in that, right? Because I feel that whenever we are so excited about learning something, because a lot of people, many people tell that it is good, the best investment you can make is investing in yourself, right? I have that thought in my always. So whenever I invest for my personal development, I didn't think much like buying a house, right? So that's the thing, right? After that class, after I think 1.5 months, I did learn nothing, to be honest. I was like, oh my God, the reality and the price that I pay is worthless. I should have invested in other people, other coaches. So since then, I feel I need to recover from my mindset that blaming myself, and I was using a lot of negative self-talk to myself that Laura, you are stupid. Why you're not taking time to think about it? So yeah, it that time it was a nightmare because I lost my money. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I feel a bit demotivated to pick up the personal development courses for some time. But I pick it up myself, and I was like, yeah, you have made a mistake, but if you're not getting recover and learning from it, you will still make the same worst investment, right? So I note down the things that I learned and what I should do it better next time. So
So
but
let's
I
go through those. Let's go
yeah,
through that list. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking about, this is a great topic because people who are at home right now, they've got time, they want to improve themselves. Online courses are important, and there's all kinds of online courses out there.
yeah.
Tell us the lessons that you learned.
Oh, the first lesson that I learned is before you think to invest in someone, because there are a lot of coaches, a lot of trainers, so many good advertisement, right? But you should take some time to learn about that person. So these days, what I do is I follow some people for some time. And I feel that they are giving the value for free content, even for the free content, I can trust in that person. And I read all the reviews of their past clients.
Got it.
Yeah, that's one thing that I do. And another thing that I do is I calculate the return on investment. Let's say if I have to invest like 100 USD for this call, what will be the return on investment? How it will benefit for my personal development or to my side hustle? Yeah.
Mm,
And another thing is the third one that I learned is you shouldn't learn from someone who others are saying that, oh, she's very good. But sometimes you have to know yourself, right?
mm.
Because Andrew and me have different experiences. If Andrew find that person useful, but that person may not be useful for me because you have so much experience. So you can resonate with that person, but I still have a lot of experience to learn. So yeah, different people have different learning style, different background, different experiences. So we need to realize ourselves before we invest in for our personal development.
Got it. All right. Well, let me summarize what I took away from it, and we can talk about that too. When I interviewed a lot of people, and I also get written stories of loss. I've had more than 500 written stories of loss. From the written stories of loss and the interviews that I've done, I've identified 6 common mistakes that people make. Number one, they fail to do their own research. That is the number one most common mistake. And I think we can tick that one and say, yes, you probably didn't do enough research on this lady and her course. Number two, failed to properly assess and manage risk. Nah, probably not in this case. Number three, driven by emotion or flawed thinking. It's possible that emotion got you excited, you know, about it. Number four, misplaced trust. Whether we're investing in, you know, money into somebody's business and we don't really know who they are or something like that. This is a case possibly of misplaced trust also. And then number five is failed to monitor their investment, which doesn't apply here. And then number six is invested in a startup company, which is very dangerous. So I would say that, you know, the lesson I learned is trust and research. You've got to build trust. And that's the lesson that I learned by you talking about the idea of see their free content. You know, I bought an online course myself. I bought plenty of them. And I signed up for free content from this guy. And he sent me free content over and over again. And I delete many of the free content that comes to me. But this guy, I don't know. I just liked the way he wrote. I liked the way he spoke. He gave me some things that were valuable. It was a year. And then one day he sent out an email and said, I got a special offer on this particular course. And I immediately signed up. And I don't regret it, you know. And it's that thing that you talked about. So I think it's great advice to understand the free content, get to know the person, get to know what's to offer. Also, 30-day money back guarantee. In all of my courses I sell, I say, I don't want your money if you're not satisfied. I have a no questions asked, 100% money back, 30-day guarantee. I don't even ask, well, what didn't you like? Nothing. If a student says, I want my money back, done. And look for that type of guarantee on any course that you go for. The last thing is what you mentioned, which is kind of an interesting point about, it kind of depends on what level you're at.
Yeah.
If you're a beginner investor and you're going to an advanced course, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bad investment. The second thing that I think is really important that you didn't mention, but I'm sure you're probably thinking about is that, are you ready to implement what you're going to learn?
That's a great point. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a waste.
We sign up for so many courses, right? Especially this time, I have been seeing people like they easily sign up, but they never finish it.
Yep. And I can tell you, I've had more than 3,000 students through my online courses. And I can tell you that it's probably pretty true that only about 10% of them make it to the end.
Yeah.
And that basically means that they are driven by emotion. And so it's important when an individual, I think for the listeners out there, if you are thinking about buying a particular course, you need to ask, you know, get free content, understand this person so you know you can trust them. Make sure that there's a money back guarantee that's very clearly stated. And then the other thing is make sure that it's the right level for where you're at. So I have a course, for instance, on how to start building your wealth investing in the stock market for absolute beginners. And then I have a more advanced one called the Valuation Masterclass for people who really want to learn valuation. Those two classes, they're never going to cross over, right? So you've got to make sure that, you know, you're buying something that's at the right level. And the final thing is, are you ready to put into action what you learn? Because if you do not have the time, or you are not suffering enough or want change enough in your life, and you think just paying for it and signing up is going to get you there, it won't. You have to act. So, wow, so many things I take away from your story. So based upon what you learned from this story and what you continue to learn, what one action would you recommend our listeners take to avoid suffering the same fate? There's some people out there listening that are just about to press the button on a course. What one piece of advice would you give them?
Take time to press that button, and then you have to think what are the steps that Andrew has mentioned before, and have done the homework probably. Beautiful.
All right, last question. What's your number one goal for the next 12 months?
Upgrading myself to equip with more business knowledge.
That's exciting. Now, someone, a young person would look at you and say, what more do you have to learn? I mean, your experience, you've got international experience. What is one thing that you really want to learn?
Running a business is not easy. Yeah. So I'm just running a side hustle. So if I want to flip it around to the full hustle, there are a lot of business skills that I need to pick it up.
Oh, there's so many. It's challenging.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
Challenging, exciting.
It's exciting. It's challenging though. I mean, I know one of the things I'd share about it in my own experience is that I studied finance. I looked at things like marketing, and when I was young, I was like, oh, that's easy, Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
So I teach in the Masters in Marketing program here at Thammasat University in Thailand, and I teach finance to the marketing students. But what I can say is that I have whole another level of respect for what people do in marketing and sales. So that's the big, and without sales, there is no business.
Yeah.
So, all right, listeners, there you have it. Another story of loss to keep you winning. To find more stories like this, previous episodes, and resources to help you reduce your risk, visit myworstinvestmentever.com. As we end, Laura, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. I know it's painful talking about our losers, but our listeners are learning to win as a result. And I want to congratulate you for being one of the brave ones. I say brave because when I ask most people to come on the show, you know what they say? They say, no, Andrew, I'd prefer to talk about my winners. So congratulations, you have now turned your worst investment ever into your best teaching moment. Do you have any parting words for the audience?
Just keep investing in yourself, and it will pay off over time, but make the right investment.
Right on. Well, that's a wrap on another great story to help us create, grow, and most importantly, protect our wealth. Fellow risk takers, this is Andrew Stotz, the worst podcast host, saying, I'll see you on the upside.